RedBeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You're listening to the RedBeard Podcast. That means it's Friday, and I'm chilling with my boy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tony over here.
And Jim Rock's with us again. What's up, bro?
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Rock.
Unfortunately, our buddy Ren is actually suffering with strep throat.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? That sucks.
The worst
I don't
of the
know, but
throats.
she sent us a picture of her eating tortilla chips while suffering with strep throat, which seems like not the greatest
edible
idea.
Razor blades of the
But
food
it was almost
world.
like, yeah,
That's what she said.
Yeah, it
she's
was
like,
almost
I
she
feel
was
like I'm swallowing straight shattered glass.
man.
But in the picture, it almost looked like she just couldn't help herself. Like she was like her hand was just like drawn to putting the tortilla chip in her mouth.
I gotta stop eating these tortilla chips. I think I'm gonna move on to Brillo pads. Oh, that's much better.
Man, you need to get like a cough drop just to soothe the awful pain in your throat. It's just the worst.
I don't know.
Get better,
have
Ren.
you had strep before? It lasts a while, and it's a lot of cough drops.
It's awful.
It's awful. It is awful. Get better, Ren.
Yeah, feel better. We'll have you back obviously next week as usual.
We wish you well. I do want to jump into something real quick. It was announced Monday. Was it Monday? No, it was announced on Tuesday.
Yep.
That Prodigy of Mobb Deep actually is no longer with us. At age 42, he passed away in the hospital. The announcement stated that it was probably due to complications with sickle cell anemia, which he suffered with his entire life. But there's also the possibility that he choked on an egg.
Which I think is kind of like a cheesy way to go out. Like, if that's the way you go out, to choking on an egg, all I keep thinking
Well,
of
it's
is...
not that cheesy. It wasn't an omelet.
Right. I knew you were going to do that. But I was also thinking of why, like, it's just so dumb. I automatically think of Mama Cass choking on a ham sandwich and going out. You know, it's just like, oh.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, he was definitely, he lived the life that he talked about. You know, it's like he wasn't a fake MC,
Right.
so to speak. Like he lived the life. He was in jail, in and out of jail. He actually has a book that he authored called Commissary Kitchen, My Infamous Prison Cookbook.
Prison cookbook.
It's how to eat healthy in prison.
Which I actually want now. I saw it in the article that announced his death or whatever. So, but I mean, like, dude, like he was a hip hop legend, man.
Yeah.
Underground.
I was just going to say an underground hip-hop legend.
He is underground.
Oh. Jesus.
Keep them coming, Jim. Just keep them coming.
What did you say yesterday?
What
about
did
his
I-
album or something?
what did I say?
Or the name of the group?
Oh, that they should change the name of the group now to 6 Feet Deep.
It's
So bad.
No, always the first guy to come out with a joke, dude. It's the best. I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
But yeah, I'll be listening to Mobb Deep for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I do think that's kind of a sad reality, and I'm not saying that because you're doing that specifically, but I feel like it always takes somebody's death sometimes for you to actually go back and like reappreciate like what their music was. Like when Michael Jackson died, like his iTunes like blew up and made like millions because everybody was like downloading his albums, but it's like nobody cared about him or like thought about how much of a legend was like the day before he died. But all of a sudden,
those
like
poser Michael Jackson fans.
I don't even know if it's necessarily
all
posers.
those
I just
pink
think,
hat Michael Jackson fans.
I think it's like when somebody's alive and they're making music, you don't necessarily always take the time to appreciate their talent.
No, we take everything for granted.
Exactly.
You really do.
You take it for granted. Then when you realize they're gone, you realize that you're not going to get any more from that person, and you're reaching for something. So what do? You go back to what attracted you to them in the first place, and why you like them as an artist. So I mean, it's never good when anybody passes away, but we've had like a lot of people go. I mean, like we've had Chris Cornell recently. Like then there was, I mean, just in the past like year with David Bowie and shit. Like I just like all these people are dropping in the music industry. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So George Michael.
I mean, at
Prince.
age 42, though, man, like that's
Still,
early.
yeah,
That's super
still
early.
young. Still's got some gas left in that tank.
like
Yeah.
I've said this on the podcast before, and I've talked to you about it. I mean, like when somebody dies and they're like 88, or like Adam West, like to me, like once you get to that like old age, it's like fucking take me already. How much longer am I gonna live? You know what I mean? Like what's my purpose in life now? Like you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that old people should all die. I'm just saying like that age comes and like you're just in pain. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like your bones are aching. You don't like I'm 44 and I'm already feeling it.
Yeah, man.
Like when I'm 88, like when I'm twice my age, who knows what I'm going to feel like?
You're going to feel it a lot more.
Exactly.
Also,
You're
got
not
to
gonna
take
be able
into
to-
effect, in 88 years, technologically, we have advanced so much. It's got to some extent, feel like you're living in a completely different world
Right.
than when you grew up.
Exactly.
I mean, to see so much change. And it's like, I'm in my 30s right now, and I'm having a hard time with fucking FaceTime that I can't imagine what it's going to be like 50 years from now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, oh, you don't know how to work the teleportation device?
It's like, no.
Exactly.
Back in your day, we actually had legs. We don't just float around on our, freaking
Hoverboards
Yeah,
and
hover
shit.
clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
It's like,
have
why
flying cars
Why
yet
are
either.
you driving? Why are you using your hands?
We don't have flying cars yet. How is that not a reality?
I'd be that fucking asshole that everybody else has jetpacks. And I'm still driving like my 2004 Monte Carlo.
And like
with
a
the dent in
Segway.
the side. And it's like, there's no...
Oh man, but yeah, like there is some crazy inventions and technological advancements in society. One of them was pointed out to me yesterday,
Yeah.
and Tony is
Was it the day
wicked
after
excited to actually be receiving this in the mail today. Tell me what it is.
All right. So,
High school diploma.
Oh, no, dude. I already have a bunch of those. No,
My GED.
No, it was. It's a Squatty Potty. So now I'll explain exactly what this is.
Which is what everybody wants.
Yeah. So I thought it was like I didn't think it was going to be as big of a. I didn't think it was going to be a podcast topic when I brought it up yesterday.
Oh, it's a podcast topic, buddy.
So basically, what this is, let me just get this out.
I also want to say, notice we didn't lead off with this. This wasn't our number one topic to talk about, but
But
it's
it's
a
clearly
solid
number two.
Yeah.
It's a solid.
Yeah, that's why. So, but basically, what it is, for those of you that do not know, just look up the YouTube commercial if you really want to get into it. But it's not really a big thing. So when you sit on the toilet and you take a shit, to be graphic, your legs are at a 90-degree angle, right? So this is basically like a cool fucking footstool that you literally just put under your feet, and it brings your legs up a little bit higher, so it's easier to take a shit. Not that I have a problem going, but I thought this was interesting because when I saw it and I talked to people that do own it, they were like, no, it actually does work. So apparently there is a lot of like science behind it. I've read all these reviews and shit, and they say that like people get like hemorrhoids and people get like really fucked up shit like anal like fissures and tears because they're trying too hard to actually like graphically go to take a shit, right?
There's a couple
now,
days
wait a
a
minute, let
month
me finish.
when
Let
I
me
literally
finish.
just shit blood.
Yeah, so that's not good. But what I'm saying is I've done the research, and they say that like there's a lot of like links to colon cancer and all this other shit. I don't know if it's true or not, but think about this: like if you actually look back in medieval times, or like really back in the day, where people would just have to like take a shit in the woods, like they were literally squatting, right? And their ass was lower to the ground, and that's how humans were built to go to the bathroom. But now we've invented the toilet, and you sit down like that. And yeah, it's been working like for years, but this apparently like takes a little bit of tension and allows you to go a little bit easier. So
But I feel like-
figured it was $20. I'm like, I'm not going to break the bank by fucking trying this thing, and we'll see what happens.
I feel like we can't go back though. we're already on the toilet. We're evolving as a human species. Our body is going to evolve to take better shits in a sitting position. And you're just throwing that to the wind.
Well, not necessarily, dude. I mean, I guess if it doesn't
I
work, I could just remove the fucking patented
I want to go back to the
footstool.
old days. I want to go back to cave drawings and
I'm going to save
fire
myself
and the
$20.
wheel.
I mean, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, though. I mean, like, if it doesn't work out, I'll fucking get rid of it.
No, I'm going to save myself $20. I'm going to dig a hole in the backyard and just squat.
I'm just squatting it.
Yeah, but I'm
not going to even dig a hole.
That's good for you. I'd rather not do it. I like the ability to flush after that. I don't want a fucking hole in my backyard with flies over it.
That's just fertilizer.
You spray it afterwards. I mean, like, you'd spray some off on it.
No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't
lawn.
be taking a shit in my backyard where I have like fucking family gathering to cook out.
In the front yard?
What's that hole? Oh, that's right. I took a shit last Monday.
Oh no, you gotta fill in the hole.
Yeah, I don't want my backyard to look like a fucking golf course where a bunch of divots.
Don't fill in the hole. Just like take a shit and then throw some seeds on it.
Yeah, have a bunch of weed patches.
That's how nature works.
So interesting. This I didn't hear this last night, and if you said it, I apologize because I totally didn't hear it. But you mentioned just now that you talked to people that own it, and they confirmed that
people, as in
it was
multiple.
Great. Yeah, and so like I'm just curious.
Like there's this whole other movement,
right?
Bowel movement out there.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious. A, who told you about this, and B, how the fuck did this conversation come up?
So there was a couple people, I'm not going to mention names, but basically,
name them just by their last name.
No.
Name them by their social security number.
So basically, I don't know how it came up, man. We were talking about something, and then that stupid, like, somebody brought up that dumb commercial, because the Squatty Potty commercial, the infomercial, it's kind of disturbing. It's like this weird unicorn on a fucking toilet, and then it's shitting out what looks like ice cream, and there's like some weird guy dressed as a prince who's like licking an ice cream cone. It's so friggin' weird, and weirds me out every time I see it. But the concept behind like the Squatty Potty actually like makes sense. But so we were making fun of that commercial, and then somebody was like, "Oh, I have that," and somebody was like, "Yeah, I tried it out. It actually works." And so I was like, "All right, like what's the difference?" And they were like, "Well, it's easier to go. Like if you ever like taken a shit and then like you feel like you just didn't finish but you're not going anymore." You know what I mean? Like it basically avoids that from happening. So they were just saying that like since they've used it, it's a little bit easier to go. It's whatever. I mean, and I was like, all right, well, there's two people right there that have admitted it worked, so why not try it? And then I was
two
reading
people right there. I think I'm gonna shit completely differently for the rest of my life now.
So, but I looked it up like Amazon reviews, and like a bunch of people were like, I thought this was stupid when I bought it, but like it definitely works. Like I would recommend it. Like somebody was like, don't knock it till you try it. So I mean, I can't speak to it yet because I haven't necessarily tried it, but I mean, I'd be more than happy to give a review next week when we regroup.
Yeah, I would I'd love to hear about your experiences with this new device.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, maybe
record it.
No, I'm not recording it.
Well, I mean, not video.
No, so I just do like an audio, like step 1. All right, we're on the Squatty Potty. Step 2. All right.
Like I'm done.
Step 3, plop.
Step 3, flush. So hey,
what
it's supposed to be.
If it's like a different sound when you're like crouching down? What if you're sitting there and you're like. That just sounds like a locomotive.
Well,
it all comes barreling out.
Oh yeah.
Or if it's like it just drops out.
Yeah. All right.
This
topic's going off the track.
Anyway, it's coming today through Amazon Prime. So hey, get your Squatty Potty now on Amazon Prime.
Nice. And speaking of sitting on the throne,
yeah.
I
know where you're going with this.
And things that are coming soon. There's a movie coming out next year in February called Black Panther from Marvel, based on the character Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman. The poster that was recently released pictures Chadwick Boseman in his Black Panther costume, sans mask, in a pose that's similar to the pose that was struck by Huey P. Newton of Black Panther fame, and not Black Panther from Marvel. We're talking the Black Panther Party. So Huey P. Newton was one of the founders or co-founder of the Black Panther Party, which was basically a party that was put into effect to like patrol the streets and defend, their African American people.
Cool, dude.
From police brutality, basically.
Police brutality. They're also saying that, their women were being raped and stuff like that. So, yeah, they were just like, African Americans are, should be treated equally. It was during the segregation era, like the Vietnam War era. So people were like hot-headed too.
And they weren't.
A lot of stuff going on.
It wasn't a violent movement.
No.
It was a movement that was, put together for self-defense.
Black Lives Matter, basically, back then. That's basically what it was, but not as
well. They matter now too,
right? But what I'm saying is it something to, I guess, a parallel in a sense.
It wasn't as politically correct.
Correct, but yeah. So, but they compared the poster to
this picture of Huey P. Newton sitting in a wicker chair, holding a rifle and in his right hand and a spear in his left hand. So basically, they're saying that the image is threatening.
Yeah, it's only threatening because it's an African American male in a king's, like what looks like a king's chair, taking a position of power. That's why it's threatening to people, which I think is complete bullshit when you look at the fact that the last 4 years we've had an African American president. I mean, first of all, you're saying that a Marvel character named Black Panther that is not real threatens you, but we had a real-life African-American president in one of the most powerful positions that a person can take in the world, and you're not, maybe you were threatened by that, but not as much, and that was a real thing? I know people just reality check people.
Well, to be fair, the same people that are saying that they were threatened by this poster are probably the same people that were calling for Obama's head while he was in office.
And I agree with you on that, and I already thought about that, but I feel like there are other people that are gonna have the balls to say something now because it's not necessarily a real character. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a fake character. I can say what I want about it. I'm not going to get any backlash, from the character specifically. But I don't know. I mean, I just think it's stupid. It really is dumb. There was a meme that was out too where it had Ned Stark, sitting in the Iron Throne chair for Game of Thrones
with his sword,
and then you had
leaning forward, mind you, not like relaxing, like he was leaning on the sword.
And then you had the Black Panther poster side by side, and it says, "If you were threatened by this and not this," indicating Ned Stark, then you're a hypocrite. Because they're basically in a very similar position, both, symbolizing a position of power. One is black, one is white. If you're not threatened by one, you're threatened by the other. Why is that? Is color the issue? So
I was threatened by the Rambo poster.
Yeah, you just showed me that before we recorded.
Yeah, I thought the Rambo poster was really threatening. And the Commando poster, the one with Arnold with the giant what machine gun over his shoulder?
Yeah, or the grenade launcher.
All the bullets. Oh, yeah. Man, that's terrifying.
You know who else used to stand
terrifying.
up? Hitler.
Yeah, all right.
Hitler used to stand.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's another guy that nobody really saw coming until he was in a position of power. So, I don't know. I don't think it has anything to... I think it's ridiculous. You know what? It's just another movement, trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, Steven
Seagal, above the law. I saw that and never wanted to leave the house again.
Again? Yeah.
Took years to get over that.
I'm just saying it's dumb. It really is dumb. It's so stupid. But people are going to want to get something in the news. They're going to want to bitch about something. They're going to want to complain about something. And this is that thing. It's dumb. It's so dumb. One of the other things that just came out was the Game of Thrones trailer, which I thought looked badass.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly.
We just talked about a Game of Thrones, didn't we?
Damn right.
A different kind of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Being
Different
on the
thrones.
thrones. And then
I don't know if
Game
it was
of
a
Thrones.
game. It's more like a job.
This episode is a Game of Thrones.
I don't just take shits for fun. Like, hey, you know what? It's been 2 weeks. I've got some time off. Why don't we all take shits?
I don't know. If I had a Squatty Potty, I'd probably take a shit for fun.
Yeah. So the Game of Thrones trailer was really good. What did you guys think of the Game of Thrones trailer? Because I thought it was pretty awesome. Fucking dragons, dude. Fucking dragons.
Fucking
That's all I'm going to
dragons,
say, dude. Every time I see a dragon, I'm like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, just like,
I'm going to
fucking-
tear up shit.
I want him to fuck.
I'm actually not looking forward to it because I know it's going to happen, but I'm going to feel really fucking bad when one of those dragons eats it. Because, they're not all going to survive, you know? Oh, dude, I don't know. I just don't deal well with seeing any form of an animal go down in TV or a movie, whether it be a dragon, which doesn't exist, or like seeing a fucking dog eat it in fucking John Wick. I wanted to murder that fucking guy so bad.
What about the bear
What bear?
in the fucking DiCaprio film?
I have not seen that movie
Oh,
yet.
you haven't seen that?
No,
Holy shit. The Revenant?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I heard it's awesome, but I heard from a lot of people that it's boring.
Well, no, it's a slow moving movie. He doesn't have like a ton of lines in it, but
No.
Did you feel
just
bad for the bear in that?
visually.
And I also heard that he's slow moving throughout most of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's reasons behind it. Everything he's doing makes sense. It doesn't. It's actually not a. It doesn't look like it's slow just for the hell of it. Like there's a purpose behind it. Yeah, I don't know. Check out The Revenant if you haven't seen it yet.
Did you feel bad for that bear?
Not necessarily because the bear fucking like mauled him. You know what I mean? So I feel like if an animal is like attacking you for whatever reason, then you have the right to fight back. But like shit, like the dog in John Wick, that was like I fucking hated that shit.
That's just murder. That's just Michael Vick.
Yeah.
shit.
But that's animal cruelty, yeah. But then it's like, these dragons are the fucking shit. There's only 3 of them. Like one of them's gonna go down, but it's probably gonna take out a bunch of people for the right fucking reasons.
Right.
It's still, I don't know. But anyway, I think the Game of Thrones trailer looks fucking awesome. I think we got a lot to expect for this season. Who I did kind of catch me by surprise is Arya Stark. She actually looks like a little bit as she would, but she looks like older in this trailer.
Yeah.
Like her character is
Matured.
mature, but I mean like physically she looks older. So she does.
What are you thinking?
She looks.
How old is she in this show?
So basically, what I'm saying is, I think that she's
Thinking maybe there's grass on the field now, huh?
No, that's gross. I think that she's.
You like it completely bald?
Yeah. Yeah.
All
I
right.
think.
Is it weirder that he answered honestly?
Well, yeah, it is. Of
Yeah.
course it is. You guys want me to fucking be honest? You're asking me the question. Why am I gonna fucking lie about it? No, honestly
Truth.
though, the trailer, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do. Like she looks a lot more mature. She looks like a stronger woman. Like in this season, we're probably gonna see her tear up some shit. So because I feel like the last couple seasons she's been trying to figure out herself.
Right.
She's trying to figure out where she fits into this whole story, like who she is as a woman, who's been separated from her family for a number of years. So I feel like now she's coming back into the play as a matured character with a purpose. She knows who she is and what she wants. So I'm excited to see her like fuck up shit. So she's a pretty cool character. There's theories that like she might actually be the one to take the throne, which I actually wouldn't be surprised if she did.
Right.
And I think it could also be the other Sansa. Sansa could possibly do it. I don't think that it's going to be Khaleesi. I don't think that she's going to take the throne. Because I don't mind her as a queen, but I feel like she sometimes goes down the wrong road when she's in a position of power. And I see like a dark side to her, which I don't think she'd be the perfect queen. And she's also got a lot of baggage. Like she was like raped. Like all this other shit has happened to her, so I feel like she could
Fucking
possibly
Stockholm syndrome with
Yeah.
her husband there.
Exactly. I just feel like
Khal
she's got a lot
Drogo.
of eventually she's going to want to give some people some payback, and that's what we don't want. So, but I feel like Sansa, even though she's gone through the similar thing with like the whole rape thing, I feel like she's a good person, Arya is a little violent, as we've seen, so I don't know if she'd be hot-headed, but I can still see it.
The whole Stark family is fucked in the head right now.
Yeah, but they're also the Stark family's still alive.
Jon Snow came back from the dead. The other kid there, fucking...
Yeah, you can't see.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't fucking know. I'm so bored with that character.
No, that wasn't Bren.
Which character is this? The one with
the fucking eyes? He can't walk. Like he's always like takes the fucking
who got Hodor
animals'
killed.
Eyes? Yeah.
Yeah,
Not only killed, but just like ruined his mind.
Like he had to watch that and actually saw him in 2 different time periods. Like fucking saw how he became like brain damaged,
and just
watch him die. So he's fucked in the head. You got Sansa, who's fucked in the head from being with Ramsay. You got Arya, who's just completely bonkers. Like she's just a fucking killer, a machine of death right now.
But I think she had to be because of where she was. She didn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all of these characters, like have to be who they are right now. But they're all like poor choices for leadership. I think.
Right.
I think you would literally have to have all of them together in order to form one like sound mind for leadership.
I think one of the smart people though that could possibly do the throne, but I just feel like it's too obvious, would be Tyrion.
Yeah.
But because Tyrion is always like the hand of the king and always makes very smart decisions and leads them in the right way.
Yeah, he's the only one that I think actually isn't like completely screwed in the head.
Yeah, and he just drinks too much.
Yeah.
That's the only problem there. But whatever. I mean, who knows? I mean, the White Walkers are coming into play. So Game of Thrones, too, this was also released the day this season obviously is going to be coming out soon, but the last season, they've rumored is not actually going to even be on or televised until 2019.
Oh, awesome.
So we're going to have to wait like 2 fucking years, bro, to actually see this shit, see the last season.
And we're only getting like 6 episodes this time around?
Something like that, or maybe a little bit more. But they're waiting for George R.R. Martin to fucking finish his goddamn book so they can write the last season, So he's got to get on that shit, so...
Yeah, we'll see how long it takes.
Do you think George R.R. Martin expected this show to be as big as it became?
No, I don't think anybody expects their show to be this big.
He's like, God, fuck, now I gotta finish it?
I don't think that J.K. Rowling expected fucking Harry Potter to be as big as it was either.
Oh, no, I don't think anybody... Like, they have aspirations, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's in their wildest dreams, but they don't think it's going to come true.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see this end sooner than later, man. That's the only thing with shows. It's like, I just want to know what happens, and move on to something else. Now let's just take a second to hear a little bit about our sponsor. Supply and demand investing. Guys, not all investments are created equal. Did you know growth stocks devote most of their revenue in trying to expand or grow the company and offer investors little to no dividend payout?
Sounds like fucking bullshit.
Right? But value stocks split their revenue between trying to expand or grow the company and give their buyers dividend payouts.
That sounds better.
But the question is, which of these 2 means of investing do you think has performed better over the past 10 years? Well, to find out, go to supplyanddemandinvesting.com/RedBeard. That's us, guys. Go to supplyanddemandinvesting.com/RedBeard. Supply and demand investing helps compare investments in the hopes of delivering better than average results, whether they be long-term, short-term, or just something in the middle. And remember, like any good sports team,
like the New York Football Giants.
Yeah. When it comes to investing, there are times to play offense by investing in things like the S&P 500 and times to play defense by investing in things like bonds, CDs, or cash.
So I say, go Patriots.
Yeah, but if we're talking defense, it's the New York Football Giants all day.
Yeah, but it's the Pats because they won last year.
Yeah, speaking of moving on to something else.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of moving on to something else.
We're going to move on to something else. Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
Han Solo film is still in the works, but Christopher Miller and Phil Lord of Lego Movie fame have dropped off.
Yeah, that's surprising.
They're not directing the film anymore.
But who are they getting? Or is rumored to start picking it up?
They are courting Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Of Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing else.
No, he did Cocoon.
He did Cocoon.
That's new to me.
No, Ron Howard's done.
He did A Beautiful Mind too. Oh yeah.
Yes, he did A Beautiful
very
Mind.
well. Didn't he also do North with Bruce Willis and a kid?
I don't know actually.
Well, also I think not only I don't just think, but I mean I know he's got a relationship with George Lucas, who had him in American Graffiti.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I know he's like a fan of Lucas and Lucas's films and his work. So Ron Howard would be a pretty good choice to do something in the Star Wars universe, especially featuring a character like Han Solo, who is probably the more grounded character, the one that people relate to in this saga. He's not a Jedi. He's not some alien person. He's just a dude that's getting shit done.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he's also, I don't know.
Do you think we're going to get to see the Kessel Run?
That would be dope.
Oh,
man, I would love that.
Yeah, because it's just this thing that nobody's actually seen yet, so that would be badass.
I wouldn't put it past them. I feel like it's one of those things we want to say.
If I'm going to see a Star Wars movie about Han Solo and his origins, like that's what I want to see. I want to see the Kessel Run, right?
You're gonna have to. Why would they not do that? That's what he's known for. That's like his fucking high point. Why would you not talk about that shit? I don't know. Unless they make more than one Han Solo movie, and this is just kind of like, the setup,
Right.
So who knows? Because Star Wars isn't going anywhere. That's pretty obvious.
No, it's not.
Freaking killing it.
There's a whole comic book universe too that ties into the films, and what they're doing with the movies and stuff like that. There's a book out now. It's a new Darth Vader comic, because there used to be a Darth Vader comic that ended, and that one was more like a Game of Thrones style comic where Vader was like, just using his wits to kind of, just do a bunch of shit behind the Emperor's back, to kind of, build up his own power base, so that he could eventually overthrow the Emperor, and be the ruler of the galaxy. This one takes place, this new Vader book takes place directly after Episode 3, when Anakin had actually killed Padme, his wife, his pregnant wife. And he didn't, he didn't kill her directly, but it was his actions that kind of put her death into, she basically forced her into early labor, and, complications at birth caused her to die or whatever.
Right.
This book picks up right after he finds out that Padme died, and it's basically the story of how he gets, the first arc anyway is the story of how he gets his lightsaber, and how the Sith get their lightsaber and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. Good shit, and it's literally just Vader fucking shit up.
Hell yeah.
Because he's like super angry. Like he's like really raw. Because
I'm sorry, I wasn't in this for like the past 5 minutes.
Where'd you go?
I was texting my girlfriend.
Oh, sweet.
I was listening, obviously. So the
Is this a Darth Vader movie?
Yeah, it's a Darth Vader comic book.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was just saying that it's a comic where, it picks up right after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Yeah, that's what that is, right? Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith is
episode 3.
when he stopped being Anakin.
Right. So it picks up right after that when he finds out that Padme is gone, and he was the cause for it, and no power from the dark side is going to bring her back. This is the Emperor telling him that, and like he just all of a sudden he just turns into this super angry little kid almost.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the whole thing that everybody hates. He was like, no, but I just want to see, let's see him fuck up shit then, after that. There's this whole gap of time where we don't see what happens. Let's see him lose his shit and fucking fuck people up.
Let's see him in choke.
That is what everybody's always afraid of. That's the only thing that's the one thing about Star Wars that bothers me is everyone is always afraid of Vader, but has no precedence as to why. You understand he's a Sith, he's fucking mad powerful, is force wielding, can fuck shit up, but no, you never see the stuff that he did to instill that fear in people. It was episode 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's how he became who he was. Fucking episode 1. Or Star Wars: A New Hope. There's this gap where I want to see what the fuck happened after that. You know what I mean? Where he kind of maybe got over her in a sense, but had to do something to get over her. Let's fill that in. That's what I want to see. I want to see Darth Vader fuck shit up. Yeah. To put it bluntly.
I mean, to be fair, nobody's mad that he was upset that Padme died when he goes, no.
No, you just hate it. You think it's awful and it's cheesy.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree.
It wasn't a stupid choice to do it. It was just poorly acted and poorly implemented, and he looked retarded.
I don't know. I liked it, but that was me.
It wasn't powerful. It wasn't moving. I didn't feel bad for him. I was just like, this is.
It wasn't necessarily powerful.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to see the whole Darth Vader story. One other movie that I don't even know if it's ever going to happen, and who knows. But I'd love to see a Yoda movie. Because it's Yoda's just the guy who taught Luke, but we've seen younger Yoda in episode 1, 2, and 3, but we've never seen anything about how Yoda
the
became
who does
he is.
Flips and shit.
Who the hell
saw that coming?
Did they ever explain who Yoda learned from?
You are in luck because there will be a Yoda movie.
Fuck yes.
This was something that was announced a while back. They're doing Yoda, Boba Fett, the Han Solo movie
would be a fun one.
Those are the 3 that are left. Rogue One was another, and I think I may be wrong here, but I think that they're planning a Obi-Wan movie.
Oh, that's sick. I'd rather see
to fill in the gaps, between the time of episode 3 and episode 4.
Right.
Why did it take so long for them to finally decide to truly expand the Star Wars universe?
Because Lucas had a very tight grip on the movie end of things. The Star Wars universe has been expanded for decades.
Oh yeah.
With novels, comic books, the action figures, and the different toys and stuff like that came out. Video games. There was a Shadows of the Empire, or Shadow of the Empire, which was just a whole fucking story that involved Leia and what's his name there, Lando, and Boba Fett was in it. It was a really cool story, basically of the team trying to get to Han. Kind of filled in that gap between A New Hope and Empire. So it was they've expanded the universe before, but now what they're doing is unprecedented because Lucas doesn't have that tight grip on everything again anymore because he sold it.
Yes.
And now
it's going to be like the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Exactly. Disney's just running with it. They're just okay, well, there's just so much story.
Do it. That's what everybody wanted in the first place.
Yeah, because it's such a rich universe. It's such a rich world that they created. Why wouldn't we explore every corner of it?
I mean, how are they just now really starting to expand it when we already have 8 Fast and the Furious movies?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah. Well, Disney's in charge of it now. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah. And I will say, I was watching the Star Wars episodes 1 through 3 the other day. I was just kind of glancing at them because they were on TNT. It was doing a marathon.
Right.
And I got to be honest, they are very hokey.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're not really that great.
Yeah. I don't know if you got it in you to watch it, but there is there's an edit out there called the Phantom Edit. And what they do is they take episodes 1, 2, and 3, cut out all the stupid shit, and combine it all into one movie. Okay. So it's just
it flows well.
It flows very well. It's all the important shit that goes from like, and it's just like watching just one movie that has a bunch of really cool shit in it. To be fair, it's still episode 1, 2, and 3, so there's still some kind of hokey shit going on.
Some bad acting.
Right. But it's a lot more watchable, and you really get a handle for like what they were trying to get across because you really cut all the chaff out. It's just all the bullshit's just gone. And then you just get all the cool shit. So look it up. It's the Phantom Edit. I think you can even watch it on YouTube. It's pretty readily available.
I'm probably gonna end up checking that out because there was some good stuff in there. Darth Maul.
Yeah,
totally wish there was more of that guy.
One of the most badass characters, man.
Oh yeah, you could say in the whole universe, including A New Hope, Empire. I mean, Darth Maul was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ray Park.
Yeah, amazing.
Definitely. I mean, there's also Watchmen, which has some updates, which you also were telling us about yesterday. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? Because you know more than me.
Well, Watchmen was a book by David Gibbons and Alan Moore. It was a comic book. It was revolutionary, changed the face of comics, along with The Dark Knight by Frank Miller. Really showed that comics weren't just for kids anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
And kind of brought us into an era where adults can enjoy comics, and you had adult themed material, and showed what superheroes would be like in the real world. We got the movie Watchmen.
Wasn't that bad.
By Zack Snyder. Wasn't that bad. I really enjoyed the movie, except for and I get why the ending had to change, but the ending changed, and it was like, and they kind of left out some other things, but we got all of those things in the extended 4-hour version of the movie on Blu-ray. So that was really fucking awesome.
Nice.
But it was a great movie.
Which I'm
really
going to want to pick up now if there's a really extended version of it.
Yeah, there is. I may be exaggerating with 4 hours, but I mean, it's at least like 3 hours. At the very least.
Let's do this.
No, I think it is 4. I think the movie itself was a pretty long movie, right? Like 2.5 hours to 3 almost. Like
I
2
believe
hours
you.
and
Oh,
45
man,
minutes.
I'm getting stoked. This is going to be like a Wednesday for me one day.
Yeah, so it's a very long extended director's cut. It's really good. But with those things aside, we may actually be getting a TV series of Watchmen, which would actually even expand that even more and give us more of what Alan Moore and David Gibbons gave us originally.
And what station could this possibly be put on?
The rumor is that HBO and director-creator David Lindelof are talking about fame. It. Mm-hmm. Right. They're negotiating. He was one of the creators and writers on Lost. Also of the recent smash success, The Leftovers.
Yeah, that's a big one. Which I haven't watched. I haven't watched this final season yet.
Mm-hmm. The first two were amazing.
Yeah, much enjoyed it.
And this one, I watched like half of the last season. I haven't caught up with it yet and finished it up, but I know that it's been a very well received ending. And Lindelof is actually I read an interview where he just says he doesn't know what to do with himself now because nobody's sending him like death threats or hate mail. it's all love, and he doesn't know what to do with the love because he didn't get that reaction from the ending of Lost.
Somewhere Vince Gilligan is like, welcome to my world.
Yeah. Yep. Good shit, man. So if he is behind it and it's on HBO, we can definitely expect it to be, adult themed, with lots of, very, very obvious love for the source material.
Yeah. We are looking at something that could be very accurate to what you just said. Yeah.
Right. Like
I'm repeating exactly what you're saying.
Lindelof actually wrote a comic book for Marvel. I don't know if you knew that, but Ultimate Hulk.
Okay. Is this? Oh no, I'm thinking of Totally Awesome Hulk.
From the Ultimate Universe. It was like that pocket universe. Damon Lindelof actually wrote Ultimate
like the
Hulk versus
well-groomed Hulk.
Oh no, I remember you talking about this before. Ultimate Hulk.
Yeah, it was Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine, which was fucking awesome.
That's
awesome.
Cool.
I will check it out.
Definitely. So there's a lot of stuff to come kind of on like the comic book front, especially with Watchmen. I'm excited to actually see what they do with that. I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie.
I'm really excited. I feel like this is a strong platform to build on with HBO and Lindelof.
With HBO, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, okay, well then this has got some balls behind it.
Yeah.
So this is going to switch gears really fast, but one thing I wanted to definitely talk about because it's in the news big time is the whole Michelle Carter thing. So Michelle Carter, for those of you who don't know, was, she's actually from the New England area, and she went to trial was on trial for basically helping her. This guy that she was talking to, or her boyfriend,
Conrad Roy,
correct, commit suicide. So basically, she was texting him like while he was saying he was going to do it. There were people saying that she convinced him to do it when he could have been talked out of it. So she was on trial for, she was pleading not guilty, that she wasn't to blame for it, but they had like evidence of all the fucking texts, like what she was saying. There was one point where he killed himself in his truck. Basically, he had like, the carbon monoxide from the car coming in. And at one point, he got out of his truck, and she convinced him to get back in and, like, go through with it. So
it's a good girlfriend.
So people were saying that, like, she could have actually, when he got out the first time, she could have actually, like, stopped him or said something, but she talked him to get back in and actually finish. So she's on trial and was convicted or found guilty for manslaughter. So they haven't released the sentence yet, but a lot of people are saying that she could be facing up to 20 years in prison for that, and also, or it could go anywhere from probation to 20 years in prison. But I guess the judge is going to be talking to some psychiatrists because they're taking into account her like mental state. They feel like that she's not right in the head, and that there are other reasons why she might have actually done this. So they're going to speak to some psychiatrists before figuring out what her sentence is going to be. But I mean, this girl pretty much fucked up her life. She was 17 when it happened. Now she's 20. Conrad was actually 18 when he actually killed himself. So pretty crazy. I don't know. This has been blowing up. So I don't know what you guys think about this. I mean, like, do you think it's crazy that she's being convicted of manslaughter? Do you think it's too much? Like, if she was just texting him and actually didn't do anything, like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I think it's reasonable, to be honest with you.
What do I want to say? Have you seen the pictures of her?
Yeah,
I would say that by looking at her, you'd think she's already in prison, and I feel like she'd hold her own. I feel like that's going to be a good place for her if she goes.
What do you mean by that? Like,
I feel like she's not going to be anyone's bitch. Like, just looking at her, I feel like this is going to be a safe place for her in prison. I, not being necessarily funny about this, I think this girl is a bitch.
Yeah.
I think she totally was a major contributor in her boyfriend taking his own life, and you should be held accountable.
It's just one of those things where
to these things.
There's so many people that are just like there are so many people that think that she shouldn't actually be going to prison. They think that she's fucked up in the head. Like there's a lot of people don't think that she should actually be convicted of anything because she didn't necessarily do anything and it was just text messages.
So then where do they want to put her? Do they just want to put her on house arrest and be like, hey, no more text messaging, Missy? Like
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what they want to do with her, but I mean, they're figuring that out. But there are a lot of people that don't think that she should be convicted because she didn't actually, like, if somebody's going to kill themselves, that's their choice. That's the whole debate. Like, if you want to kill yourself, then you're going to kill yourself. And if you send a couple text messages to tell that person to go through with it, then it's ultimately their choice too. So that's where the debate comes in. Like, is she really at fault? Like, you can say whatever you want, but being there and committing the murder is another thing. And that's where this whole, like, why this case is so big. Because they're saying this case specifically could be a turning point as to, like, if text messaging involved with suicides could actually be something that's new in court that they haven't seen yet. What's that?
I said the case is going to set precedent.
That's why it's so big right now. Like was doing everything through text messages. You know what I mean? And people are like, well, you can text whatever you want, but if somebody kills themselves, that's their call. So that's the whole debate right now. Like, should she actually be convicted of involuntary manslaughter? Was it the right conviction? Were they too harsh? I mean, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate and asking the question because that's what's going on right now. So
I mean,
she wasn't committed. She wasn't committed of murder.
Right. Exactly.
It was manslaughter.
Right.
And I feel like if your girl is going to say do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it for so long, it's a very large contributing factor.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you.
So look, I haven't followed the case, but it's a really gray area because I mean, like, if this sets precedents for future cases, and it's like now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, this is like, if she's guilty, then that means other people are probably going to be found guilty for this shit. It comes down to education, and it comes down to people knowing how serious of an illness the feeling to commit suicide really is. And I think if somebody's unaware of their transgression, if somebody doesn't really realize that they're driving somebody to actually pull the trigger, like if somebody,
well, she was aware. She believed that she was helping her boyfriend by allowing him to die. She thought that he would be better off dead.
Well, I'm saying I'm not talking about this case in particular, and I know that's where this started, but I'm saying just in general, because like this case is going to kind of basically set the bar, right?
Yes.
So if somebody else, like just somebody like thinks a friend is joking, or if somebody is, and I'm not saying that it's right that they would say, oh yeah, just go ahead and fucking kill yourself.
I say that stuff all the time.
But
all the time.
Case in point is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you get a text message from somebody. Now you have a record of sending a text message to somebody. Yeah, go ahead, fucking pull the trigger. But you're fucking around with somebody who you think is fucking around, right?
Well, I need to. Well,
now all of a sudden, are you going to jail? Like, I mean, does this mean that you are now a felon because you were unwittingly contributing to something?
But you can look back in text messages too, if it ever came to that. If I feel like if you said it once and the rest of the conversation is wishy-washy, it's just normal shit, then people say that like, oh, I'm like so fucking tired today, I'm gonna kill myself, or like, all right, man, like, get over it, just go kill yourself. Like, we don't necessarily. I feel like we can understand.
How many times have you been in traffic?
You know,
like, I'm gonna fucking murder this guy in front of me.
Yeah, there's that, but I also feel like this is different. This case is different because it was like weeks and months of her like basically telling him what to do. Like
agreed on that.
Like in I think the worst part about this, which really actually got her the guilty conviction, was that he got out of the truck and she convinced him to get back in, and he did, and like he got back in and like finished it.
Typical girlfriend, though, right?
But
always
I mean, that's
forcing the boyfriend's
fucked
hand.
up. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the only thing. Like, I was kind of on the fence about it, but then like when she convinced him to get back in, and that's what led to his death. Like, that is pretty fucking bad. I mean, like, she's got to have some kind of mental issues. Which, I mean, and they're obviously looking into that for you to do that to somebody. I just, if you're in love with somebody, you don't do that. Like, you want them around. You don't, I mean, unless it's, I don't know, but then you're getting into the whole fucking, what's that guy, that doctor who helped people kill themselves? Yeah, that's a whole Kevorkian thing. So, but those are people that were asking for it, and he just set it up and let them pull the trigger. So, you know, I don't know. It's a gray area. It's a weird case. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
They were also people with like terminal illnesses.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep. All on next season of Marvel's Agent Carter.
So this was one other quick conversation that we had yesterday, and I just want to quickly go around. Randomly, we were just talking, and we were talking about like weird scenes in movies, and like we were talking about like the like people. Cooley and I had a conversation once, like what would be worse, and I think it was in one of our episodes, being on fire, or like dying by fire, or dying by drowning. And Cooley said fire, I said drowning.
Nice high five on the fire, buddy.
And then we were just kind of talking about drowning
they're
last
both
night.
not good choices.
No, they're not. We were talking about drowning last night, and then we were talking about like, I asked the question, have you ever seen a scene in a movie where drowning like was hard for you to watch? I mean, it's never easy for you to watch, but I mean like one that sticks out specifically.
For me, it was in Faces of Death.
Oh, well, that's real though. Holy shit! So what happened?
Oh no, it was an after image.
Okay.
It was just a woman stuck in a storm drain.
Oh Jesus!
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, it haunts me. It's one of those things that you cannot unsee.
Yeah.
And it's in there. Oh,
Yeah.
It's in there forever.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a while after
She was
it happened.
stuck
too.
in a storm drain.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
That's awful.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. I hope
All
she
right.
didn't have kids.
And
She
what-
definitely had parents.
What about you, man?
Just there were a couple. I mean, I know I couldn't find it online, but I know there's like an Amityville horror movie that has a woman trapped in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
There was no. So I remember, as I think about it, I remember there was no cover for the swimming pool. She just couldn't get out of the pool. Like there was a cover, but it was like completely open.
Okay. Like something was holding her under.
Yeah, like it was almost like a sheet of glass or clear ice or something like that she just couldn't get through.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing there.
Yeah.
But she couldn't get out of the pool. And like to me, like when you're stuck in a pool, whether you're trapped under ice, Jim.
Oh yeah, nice Metallica reference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or you're under a tarp or whatever it is, when you're trapped and you just can't get out, so that you don't really have a choice in the matter. You're like that close to being at the surface but still can't get out of the pool. To me, that's super hard to watch. Like
Yeah, dude. I mean, I agree. It's just like, obviously, you know, we've never really experienced that, or if maybe you have, where you thought like you were, you know, going to have like a experience where you were going to drown.
The Dead Zone was a good one too.
What's that?
The Dead Zone.
The Dead Zone. Yeah, that's another good one.
When
What
the
about
kid
the- what about
falls through the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Prestige.
Yeah, that's another good
Remember
one.
The Prestige when the girl drowns in the tank.
Yep.
Yeah, that had an audience.
For me, it's the scene from the movie The Abyss, where Ed Harris and I forgot the woman's name, but the other actress, they are basically in this submarine that's underwater, the sub, and it almost goes off the edge of a cliff, and it starts to leak, and the water starts coming in, and it's filling up rather quickly, and he's the only one with like a suit, and so she's like, go back and get into the suit, and he's like, no, there's not enough time. I won't have enough time, and then he tries to get her to put the suit on, and she won't do it, and because they get into like a fight where he's like, put it on, like if anybody's going to survive this, it's you. And then she says, no, you're a faster swimmer. You basically have to put it on, watch me fucking drown, and then bring me back to the ship, which they go through the hatch to the other ship. And then she's like, you'll have time to resuscitate me because the water's so cold. It'll slow down like her system, and they'll have just enough time to resuscitate her. And it's like, watching her actually drown, and he has to watch her go through that and then literally try to resuscitate her. Dude, it's one of the fucking hardest scenes to watch in a movie. And especially the whole scene where they try to bring her back is even fucking harder to watch. So that's number one for me. Like, that's always going to be number one for me. Like, every time I see that scene, it brings like tears in my eyes because it's fucking hard as shit to watch. But it's just such a damn good scene. Like, so well written.
I completely agree. I will say, though, the number one most important drowning scene in movies, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good one.
Yep.
Are you talking about the waterbed thing? Isn't
No.
there something
No.
that's
Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's talking about actually Jason.
No, I know what you're
drowning.
talking
Friday
I
the
know what you're talking
13th
about.
starts with Jason being a Down syndrome kid of some type that gets drowned by some other kids at a camp. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I'm going to kill them all. Like, it wasn't these specific kids. It was the camp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. All right, so there's I just wanted to kind of talk about that because I thought that was kind of a cool conversation that we had last night. Random too, but we'd like to finish off this week of the RedBeard podcast with just one quick round of Would You Rather. So Jim, since you are our guest, I'm actually going to give you, we'll do 2 questions each.
Do it. Bring them on.
All right, here we go. Here's your first question. Would you rather go back in time 100 years or go 100 years into the future?
100 years into the future.
Okay.
Because I feel like all the amenities that we have now are going to still be there in 100 years, except better. And someone will be there to teach me. Like, there's still going to be English in 100 years. If we go back 100 years, like, I don't have a microwave. I don't have...
I like how a microwave was number one.
You'll have a microwave. It's called the black person that prepares your meals for you. Which is why I would not go back 100 years. Absolutely not.
But you're...
Louis C.J. has a joke about that. He's like, I could go back any time. He goes, and there's going to be a fucking guy there with a table waiting for me with dinner. He goes, black people have to be careful. Anything before 1940, I think I'm good. So
no, it would definitely be the future. Yeah. I want to see how all of my family and friends died.
Jesus Christ. All right. Next question. Would you... Okay, here you go. Would you rather lick your penis or lick your dad's penis? That's literally the question. That's it.
I feel like it's not too hard of a question. I'm sure we have all, like, every man on this planet has at one point tried to. We all know it's physically impossible, but we try it.
Right. All right.
Yeah. My own.
Your own. All right, cool. pretty easy. All right, Cooley. Would you wander inside an abandoned building for a whole night alone, or would you, or lights go out when you are in your shower and home alone?
I honestly have no problem with either one of those.
Really? Even though we were driving through, we left Foyle's house and you were like, I won't walk out here by myself.
Well, no, because you drove through clan territory.
It was not. It was like a park.
Go on.
I don't live in the middle of the woods.
Dude, we don't live in the fucking South. It's not Klan territory. Like, Jesus Christ. It was a fucking, like, state park. So, whatever. So, which one would it be? You don't have a problem with either, but which one would you choose?
I would probably choose, fuck it, just in the comfort of my own home.
In the shower.
In the shower. Lights go out. Big fucking deal. I fucking...
Yeah, you go turn on the circuit
Yeah,
breaker.
exactly.
What if the lights go out, you're in the shower, and then there's a knock on the bathroom door, but no one else is home?
Then I think you have a fucking serious problem. So, did you hear him? What if the lights go out while you're in the shower and you hear a knock at the bathroom door, but no one's home?
That's going to be so worrisome, because what do you have in the fucking shower that's going to be a usable weapon? Like, you're going to grab the Prel and, like, spray it in the eyes? Is Prel still a thing?
I mean, like, at that point, I could grab the curtain rod.
Nice.
You know? Right. And then slowly open the door.
Yeah, but then it's court, and she's like, the lights went out. Are you okay? I just got home. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And I just put the curtain rod back.
I'd 100%. I just thought of this. I'd take all of, like, the shower shit, the conditioner, the shampoo, whatever I can, and I would just, like, squeeze it all onto the floor right in front of the...
So they slip?
They slip. So the first thing that happens is they slip. Oh, man. We're thinking things through
all
right now.
Second question. Cooley, would you rather have Michael Jackson come back to life or have Prince come back to life? Just the frustration in your face right now.
Just from a legal perspective.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm letting somebody down no matter who I pick. So, fuck it, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. All right, cool. And
that would be like, there's just more fun involved with that.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see what Jim chooses, because there's always going to be something weird or fucked up. Here we go.
Would you rather be a lesbian and happy, or gay and ugly?
It's just, well, since I already love women, I'm going to say lesbian and happy.
That doesn't seem like a very fair question. I feel like that's already loaded to one particular side.
Well, I mean, like, you're asking a male, so I guess, like, being a woman, and I guess in my mindset, being attracted to women, that's not a bad deal, I guess.
So wait, would you
right?
be a lesbian
and be happy,
a lesbian
or be gay and be ugly?
Happy, or gay and ugly? So it's kind of like you can be a woman who likes other women and you love it. Or you could be a man that likes other men, but you're also fucking hideous. And you're probably never going to have sex. And you're just going to be a miserable person. Who comes up with these questions?
But aren't lesbians gay?
They are. Of course.
So...
But I think they're using gay in reference to you have to make a choice. You're either a woman or a man in this question. You have to choose between
I choose
having a
the
penis
first.
and liking penis, or having a vagina and liking vaginas.
So I'm going to go with lesbian.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
All right, cool. And let's go to the next question.
Would you rather... so weird. Would you rather swear a lot or just be a loner?
I guess swear a lot, because then I'll be somewhat sociable. But I mean, I guess if I'm hanging out with people and I swear a lot, I mean, they'll just have to deal with it, or I mean, whatever. At least, or if I'm just a loner, I'm just by myself all the time swearing.
But I mean, if you
isn't that Tourette's?
Like if you're just swearing all the time, wouldn't you be a loner to begin with?
I guess.
Like you just like. You're like, oh, fuck that shit, piece of fuck, slut. And then someone's like, it's a christening. What are you doing?
Jesus. All right. Well, there you have it. That is this week on the RedBeard Podcast. I want to thank Jim for coming on again this week, Jim Rock.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and obviously we'll have Ren back next week. And yeah, all right, guys, we will catch you next week. Peace.
Goodbye forever.
Later.
Later.